Before we get stuck into the video, I just want to say that if you're new to my channel, welcome, thanks for stopping by, and for anybody that's returning, you know, thanks for supporting me basically. It's been really useful. Anyway, today's video I want to talk about these two lenses. Just wait, one second, we got this. The Tamron, hang on a second, Olympus, focus. The Tamron 28 to 75 2.8 for the Sony. The Canon 2470 2.8 Mark II for Canon. Now, why am I even comparing these two lenses? They're for different systems, different mounts. Basically, I moved over to Sony not long ago, a few months ago, and I've still got my old Canon glass, and I picked up this bad boy recently, which I absolutely love. If you haven't seen my review, it'll be down in the comment section or description, wherever. It's down there somewhere. Go check it out. It's a fantastic lens. But also, I still have this. A fantastic lens as well, and I want to just do a quick comparison between these two because a lot of people that are transferring over from Canon to Sony might have this lens as well. And is it worth selling this lens? That's kind of down to you whether you want to do that or not. For me, as you can see, I've still got both. I'll probably sell one, I don't know. I'm just lucky with the workout I've got that I can actually do that. I know not everybody's going to be in the same boat as me, but just know that I am able to keep this lens and this lens, which is fantastic for me. So let's get the similarities out of the way first of all. They're both fantastic lenses, they're both 2.8 zooms, they're both moderately weather sealed, although the Canon's probably a little bit better, but the Tamron, not too bad either. They've both got weather gaskets on the ends down here somewhere. They have similar kind of focal ranges. This is a 28 to 75, a 24-70. There is a little bit of difference there, not huge, but you know, it's definitely worth knowing. Weight wise, the Canon, definitely, it's heavier. The Tamron is a little bit lighter, it's nice to hold, it's not actually that big, it almost fits around your hand. The Canon is physically larger, so yeah, it is physically heavier. Is it a big thing? Not really, to be honest. It's you know, if you've already owned this lens, you're used to this lens, you know how good it is. It's a fantastic lens. So yeah, weight wise, definitely the Canon is a little bit heavier. It doesn't matter though, it's horses for courses, you know, it doesn't really make that much difference. Or does it? You see, when you've got it mounted on the camera like this, there is a noticeable difference. You see, it's very front heavy, it pulls it down a little bit. It's, if you've got strong wrists, you know, guys, it's not too bad, it's absolutely fine, but it's definitely something that you notice. It does weigh down. See, if you've got the Tamron on here, it feels a little bit better balanced in your hand. This definitely pulls down because you got to remember here, basically there's no glass at all, it's all front heavy, so it's not a big thing. But again, just worth noting, it's a great lens, as I keep saying. You're not going to really mind it. It still works absolutely fine on this camera system. I've got it mounted here with the MC11 by Sigma. It absolutely works fine with that adapter and the Metabones. I've got the Metabones 4, whatever it is, who cares. It's just worth noting it is definitely front heavy compared to the Tamron. Tamron, it just feels better in the hand. It's a little bit smaller as well, the Tamron. Both of them, they're fine, they're absolutely fine. Another little point to kind of say is, in the UK, the Canon 2470 2.8 Mark II is going to set you back between, let's say, 1,600 and 1,800 quid, depending on where you buy it from. Those kind of just like rough figures, because every shop you go to seems to have a different price. The Tamron, on the other hand, is 700 quid. It's like almost £1,000 less. Now, is it £1,000 less of a lens? I really don't think so. I have been absolutely blown away by this lens. So much so, I don't really use this anymore unless I'm using one of my 5D Mark IVs. Obviously, I can't put this lens on there. This lens, even when I attach it to the Sonys, I don't need to anymore. And it's not like it doesn't work well on the Sonys, because it does. It really does. But the Tamron, honestly, this is a freaking good lens. It's so damn sharp. Some people will say it's not sharp in the corners. Do you know what? I'm a wedding photographer. I'm not a landscape photographer, so if it's a little bit soft out there, I don't care because I'll probably be shooting people and I want it soft. I want the bokeh. So who cares, right? Well, for me anyway, it doesn't make a big difference, but for you it might do. The Canon lens, if you've been shooting in this lens, you'll know it vignettes like a bitch. It really does. It's probably 2 stops darker in the corners on the wide end. So there's that to take into account. It also suffers a little bit of distortion. So does the Tamron, to be perfectly honest. It's not a perfect lens. Honestly, there's not much between these two. If you look at these 2 pictures here right now, you'll see both are wonderfully sharp. Both have decent enough bokeh. Is it the best bokeh in the world? Absolutely not. Both of them, they focus well. The speed of the focusing, the accuracy, etc., is absolutely fine on both of them. Obviously, with the Tamron on Sony bodies, you're going to get all the extra focusing options. So that's something to keep in mind. And also, obviously, the price difference, because £1,000, that's a lot of money. So yeah, you get more focusing options with this. With the Canon, you still get good focusing. It's still fast, it's still accurate. I've used this lens on first dances on the Sony bodies, and it's performed absolutely fine. I've not had an issue with it. I've used it with speeches, with romantic pictures, group shots, etc, and it's worked absolutely fine. I've never felt like it's not missed a shot, and if I have missed a shot, it's probably down to my stupidity, but that's a whole other story. So yeah, the Canon works really well on the Sony bodies, but you just don't get all the focusing options. It is front heavy, and it vignettes like a bitch. So yeah, I can't really tell you whether you should sell this lens or not, but yeah, I don't know. If I was coming to Sony and I had a bunch of gear and I didn't have the option to keep a lot of my Canon glass, I would potentially sell this and buy this. That's me. You're gonna think obviously differently to me, so yeah, I don't know. It's a tough choice, guys. Obviously, the focal range of a 24 to a 28 could play on your mind a little bit. A 24 is nicer, especially at weddings, because sometimes I can't back up any further and I need a little bit more width. So there is that. It's not huge, and I just tell people, squash in a little bit, get friendly with each other. You know, it's not a big thing. It would be nice to have a 24 on here though. So hey, what can I do? Otherwise, guys, there's not much else really to say. They have great lenses. They both work well. They both focus well. They both are sharp, etc. So, I don't know. You tell me what you want to do. This is just like a very quick comparison between these two. And honestly, yeah, they're good. I don't know. There's nothing else to say. See you later.